What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about a common fear that a lot of producers have before getting into the licensing business. And that fear is that maybe there's just too many producers doing this, right? I used to get this sort of pushback and worry 2 years ago when I first launched my YouTube channel. And I understand it. I totally get it because it's a very, very common concern that I think you maybe should be considering and thinking about, especially as you get into a brand new field and a brand new industry that you don't have a lot of experience in. Especially when you start a new business of any type, you really should do your research and find out, is there really a need for what I do there, and is there enough of a market share for me to capture a bit of it to sustain myself and sustain a business that can grow. So it's a really great question. It's not a silly question at all. But here's why I don't think it's worth worrying about at all. And even though there are tons and tons of producers getting into this industry, and actually, as time goes on, more and more producers are getting in. So the time is now, certainly, to get in. You shouldn't be waiting and thinking, well, next year I'll do it. You should definitely just go for it now if you feel like this is potentially a calling for you. But why I don't think you should ever worry about it, and why I personally never worry about it, is because of the strange fact, for better or for worse, whatever it is, the fact of humanity and human nature is 80%, maybe 90% or more of people flake out. They just don't stick with anything. They start something, they get excited about it, but a month, 2 months, 6 months later, you see this sort of drop off where people are just not contributing anymore, not making new music. They don't have the patience. They don't have the long-term mindset. They don't have the vision for what they're doing for their career. They just want the quick buck, and they were expecting to get a huge paycheck within a couple of months. And when they don't get that, they're out the door. They find something else that distracts them and they go away. So in my career, I used to have that fear a lot before submitting to new libraries and new companies. I was always worried, well, what if they already have somebody who does rock, or what if they already have somebody who does EDM? They're probably just not going to really need me. And so it actually sadly prevented me many times from even reaching out to companies, because I was scared of that very fact and I didn't want to face rejection. So that's why when I say I understand how you guys feel, like that's exactly how I felt. But enough success stories came through where I was getting accepted by libraries. And the more that I just stuck with these companies, the more that I would hear the exact same thing from every single library that I worked with. And that story was, Jesse, we took a risk with you. We did have somebody that was doing similar music to what you were doing, but you know what? That other producer's gone now. So you're now our guy, and we need you. So thank you so much for sticking around, and here's more gigs and here's more opportunities. And they just kept feeding me. And I literally, like almost word for word, most of the libraries that I've worked with over the years have told me the exact same thing, that they appreciate me sticking around, that I never just flaked out and submitted to them for like a year or two and then just went away. But I kept showing up when they needed me. And that's what's kept me relevant in this industry for as long as I've been in it. So I'm not the best producer on planet Earth. I'm not the best musician. I'm not the best mixing engineer, the best mastering engineer. Far from all of those things, okay? It's really just a matter of showing up consistently over and over and over again. So if you are getting involved in this business for the first time and you're worried about that, in terms of like, well, am I really going to stick it out? Know that in the beginning, you will be one of many. Just getting into a library for the first time, you are going to be one of maybe 20 composers, maybe even 40 or 50 composers, depending on how long and how big of a company organization they are. And know that in the beginning, you're probably not going to be in the inner circle because they're taking a risk on you. You got to put yourself in their shoes as a library. They're getting submissions all the time. How many of those submissions do you think turn into, relationships that last 4 or 5 years long? Like, honestly, do you think most of them are turning in? No, probably 90% of them drop out within 6 months, maybe a year. Most people are not sticking with this for the long haul. And libraries know that. They know that they're taking a risk. And that's why a lot of times they are very slow to accept new writers, because they don't want to do all the paperwork and coaching and guiding you through their process if they know in 6 months we're not going to get any more music from this producer. So some of them are a little bit slow to accept because they know they've been burned in the past with these producers that are just flakes. So for those of you that want to do this seriously and you have that concern about the saturation issue, that there's maybe too many people out there, don't even worry about it. Okay. Put that worry out of your mind, because that becomes irrelevant when you consistently show up. Because even if there are more talented and creative producers out there, which there are, all right, let's just be real. There are better people out there than us. You can just get yourself in an endless maze of trying to compare yourself to other people, but you'll always find somebody who's better than you at some skill. Okay. So don't even get lost in that trap. But what most producers aren't doing, no matter if they're super talented, not that talented, whatever, wherever they are in their skill set, most producers are not sticking with something for more than a year, 6 months to a year. That seems to be that sort of time where most people are just kind of falling off. Okay. So if you're able to consistently crank out music, and you're able to have the patience and the dedication, and most importantly, the sort of faith and belief in yourself, that you're worth it, that this is your career, that you feel that you can actually do this successfully, and now you know exactly what it takes to do it and to succeed. And you also have like this video and this knowledge right now, which I'm giving you, which I did not have when I first got started. Somebody 10 years into the business telling me, hey, it's going to be long, it's going to be hard, but this is how you're going to succeed. You're going to be consistent. You're going to keep showing up. You're going to be the hungriest producer on the catalogs and libraries that you get accepted to. And that's what's going to open up the doors for you in the future to get direct relationships, to get more custom opportunities, and to increase your catalogs and your royalties over the long haul. I didn't have this very clear path set out in front of me, so I was stumbling. I was going in many different directions. Even though I was within the licensing industry, I didn't have that clear confidence to know like, oh, this absolutely can work. I've seen it work for other people, right? But you do have that right now. So even as this industry gets more popular, and even as thousands of new producers are jumping into this company or this industry, don't even worry about it. It shouldn't even be a thought for you, because if you're one of those long-term, dedicated, hardworking producers, all of the competition will be irrelevant for you. You can absolutely carve your own path wherever you feel you're the strongest, whatever your genre is, whatever your sound is, whatever the path that you feel like this is where you can really serve the needs of a library the best. Everything else becomes obsolete. So I hope that's encouraging for you guys. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, and make sure you do subscribe to this channel. I put out videos like this all the time, almost, well, now 2, sometimes even 3 times a week. So I'm trying to up the amount of videos that I'm putting out there. So I hope you guys find this encouraging. And I don't want to hear any more about people feeling maybe it's too saturated, there's too many producers, because now you guys have the answer. Now you know why that shouldn't even be a concern for you moving forward in this business.